Well, hi guys, this is Backwaters Brenton, and I'm here with Wayne Dure in Ludington, Michigan, his hometown, and I've come down to interview him about his shanty boat trip that he made in, was it 2008?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And it's inspired me, it's inspired a lot of people, and I don't think I've ever seen him interviewed about this, so let's talk. How's it going, Wayne?
Good. Hi, guys. It's good to see you on YouTube, all my people that watch me, and some new followers that'll jump on Brenton's channel here, which I think will be great for him. Yeah, we kind of got to know each other because of the shanty boat thing. He kind of reached out to me, and we've been chatting and whatnot. We met up a long time ago for just like a day, and then he said, hey, I'd like to come down for a weekend and kind of get some ideas and pick your brain a little bit about this shanty boat trip. And it's like, yeah, that's great. And it worked out a good weekend for him to come down, and he has thoroughly enjoyed himself today. We've gotten to do some swimming, we went and looked at boats, and he's gotten inspired about sailing for himself someday, and it's been a great time.
Sailing's in my future eventually.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, we're going to chat about the shanty boat trip and whatever questions he has, and it might help you guys out too. And I know some of you out there, I think it's what, Lloyd is interested in doing the same trip, and
Yep.
I think there's another guy that's interested. So yeah, it's very cool. It was a neat trip. It was one of the funnest trips, I guess I could say. Very laid back, very easy going.
So could you tell us a little bit, just to get it started, about what gave you the idea of building a shanty boat and how you found it and maybe how you built it? And
Yeah, well, it was kind of happenstance, I guess if you call it. It was kind of a bad thing happened that led to a great thing. And you know, I don't think you guys have ever heard this, but I made a big mistake, a big boo-boo that many have done. And I ended up getting a drunk driving like 8-9 years ago, about 9 years ago, in that ballpark. And what happened is I was basically going to lose my license for about a year. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I just knew I'm going to try and do another trip of some sort, some kind of adventure. So I went and kind of researched out that I could actually operate a watercraft. It's one of the only things you can operate when you don't have your license because of a stupid mistake of a drunk driving. And you cannot run a scooter, you cannot run a snowmobile, you cannot run a quad, you can't run anything, but you can operate a motorcraft, which kind of floored me. So what happened is I was kind of riding around, and I seen this old pontoon boat sitting just south of town, and I stopped and kind of asked the guy, hey, what's up with this? And he said, well, I was going down the road with it on a trailer at one time, and it flipped on the guy and kind of scuffed everything off. Okay. And but everything was good except, you know, the pontoons were good, the deck was good, and the motor was good. So I said, huh. And I'm really not sure what said, hey, I can build a shelter on this piece of junk and make a trip out of here and head down to the Keys, spend a whole year, and then when I get back, I'll get my stuff paid and move on and get the license back and all that. And that is exactly what I did. So I bought it for $700 or $800, and the guy got me a trailer to get it home. And I had read the book or heard about the Hubbards, and that they were like the pioneers of this shanty boat thing in the river system and stuff. And I got it home, and I just started working on it a little bit, and then I took it down to a marina and started fixing it up and building it. And you guys have all seen the videos on what it looked like. And you know, that was really kind of crazy, because what happened is I knew right from the start that this was going to be great. This was going to be a cool trip. I was going to run out of here, out of Ludington, run Lake Michigan down, and just kind of...
I'm going to show them, like,
yeah,
you basically,
you can see the
you kind of left from
there.
Right here.
Yeah, the day out there is certainly easy enough to hop down 20-mile shots at a time and jump into a little sheltered bay and anchor out. And you know, my goal was to get to Chicago and then jump in the river system into Calumet and the Ohio and down into the Mississippi and then up to Tennessee and the Tom Bigby and all that, and work my way down. And that's exactly what I did.
So when you left in late September, and when did you start the boat? Like, how long did it take you from when you decided to do this, you bought the boat, you brought it home, till you launched it?
Yeah, I think I picked the boat up about the end of June and just started putting things together, and I tried to make it as light as possible, because I don't think, it was a small pontoon. It was, I don't think there was a lot of leadway for weight, so I started just using 2x2s, and I was just going to build a simple little shelter with some just tar paper and just whatever I could. And if you watch my videos on that, you'll see that it kind of changed shape all the way down the thing. And it took me, I had it done within about a month, really. And then I had a little marina that in town here that a buddy of mine I knew had it, and I paid him $200 a month to put the boat there. And I kind of played with it. I went and camped on it, and I bummed around here and bummed around the lakes with it, just kind of getting the familiarity with it. And the engine ran great. And
so you took some test runs before you started the trip,
yeah,
like around.
Yeah, just to see. The biggest concern was the engine, mostly, to see how it was going to go, and if it took a little wave, if it would pitch, if it would kind of dive or grab in and kind of have that pitch. And it did fine. It kind of would ride up and skip along on the waves. It worked pretty good. And then yeah, I took off. If I remember right, I think I took off about the 16th of September, and I took a day just like today, and I shot out of here. It was flat, and my first shot was down to Whitehall, and I pulled in there and just anchored out, and the next one was down to I think Grand Haven, and then a storm blew in, and I kind of held up there. And there's one video on there, it was a crazy storm, and I spent 4 days. I was kind of stuck there, and then it went flat again, and I just started bugging back down, and I knew, I was getting all kinds of people that were like, "You ain't gonna make it out of the pier heads. You can't do this. This isn't gonna work. You're nuttier than a fruitcake." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, I knew from the start that I started this stupid shanty boat. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to go all the way to the Keys with this stupid boat, and I just never had any doubts in my mind. Mostly from childhood, that I had bummed around on the lakes and the boats and canoed, and I've been out on Lake Michigan in a canoe, kind of bopping through the waves and just playing and stuff as a kid. Just kind of that fearless thing. So I kind of had a little bit. It wasn't like I was a greenhorn. I kind of had an idea of what it could take, and it had to be a pretty flat day, maybe just a little, one foot wave or something like that, and I'd be okay. And that's what we did.
Now, you told me a story today that I've never heard about, when you hit the prop on something and you had a day where you had to go fix that.
Yeah, I was down. I'm trying to think where I was. I think I wasn't in the Mississippi. I think I was actually in the 10 Tom Bigby, and I kind of was looking for a place to get close to shore to anchor out for the night. And I kind of came up in, and I hit a rock is what it was, because it was either rock or steel. It was a solid thing, and it just lapped the prop. One of the fins on the prop just lapped it right over, and of course instantly it just vibrated something fierce. So I knew, it was kind of naive on my own part. I should have had an extra prop, and I didn't. I would recommend that, to definitely have another prop, because it took me an extra day to get someone to go get a prop and go, take me to get a prop. So I ended up scooting back to a little place. I waited there till morning. I found went into town to look for a prop, see if I could find one. And the guy said, "No, we don't have anything here, but there's a town 20 miles from here, but the guy's got a shop, and he redoes them. He's got all kinds of them, and I'll run you there." And I was like, "No, that's awesome. I really appreciate that." And I shot down there. I think I paid $25 for it, new prop, and switched it out and took off that late afternoon and headed down to the next thing. But yeah, that was kind of my only real mishap. And then no, I take it back. One other thing I had is I did have the carburetor kind of screw up on it. It just kind of fouled out, or whatever happened. And again, I pulled into a little place that was a dock, walked into town on a Saturday morning, and asked, "Hey, where's a guy that knows what to do on a carburetor? I got a thing." And the guy said, "Oh, there's a fix-it guy over here." And I kind of felt bad, because I went over there about 8:30 on a Saturday morning, and I think he had a few too many barley pops that night before, because he got up a little.
You didn't like those right there?
Yeah, he got up a little rusty and a little. You could tell he was a little green, but he was the greatest guy in the world. I apologize for waking him up. He ran down and spent about an hour and just fixed that thing and tuned it right in. I tried to give him $50, and his comment was, "River people take care of river people. Don't you worry about it. We take care of our people here,"
Yeah.
whatever. And off I went, and that was and it ran like a dream the entire rest of the trip.
Yeah.
After that.
Okay, guys, anyone that watches my channel knows I'm just using a phone, and I'm eventually gonna get some better tech here. So I'm gonna make this a part 2. I'm gonna turn this off, and then we'll come back, and I got some more questions for Wayne. So stick with us.